to World Crisis Radio, reporting tonight from Hamburg, Germany, and I'm asking you to keep up with the situation at Tarpley.net. You can also keep up there. You can go through Tarpley.net to get my Twitter feed, and I'll have more Twitters this evening and basically every day, apart from days when it's absolutely impossible. There should be at least a couple of Twitters every day in a fast-developing situation like this. Before we actually get into the internal details of Libya, let's just look at the general idea. I think a NATO invasion of Libya in the time now ahead, the U.S., NATO, British invasion, but with all of them taking part, Italy, Germany, Spain, the whole NATO crew, likely to invade Libya. Neo-colonialism, neo-imperialism on the march. As the country breaks up, the obvious thing is to say, well, we have to do something for the human rights in Libya. We're hearing a lot of breastfeeding about human rights from Barroso, the Portuguese fascist at the head of the European Union, and similar characters. We got the German Foreign Minister Webster breastfeeding about human rights in Libya. A lot of hypocrisy here because these people have all been working hand in glove with Gaddafi. They just they have various reasons why they don't like him. Above all, the U.S. has decided they want to get rid of him in the framework of what's going on. A NATO invasion of Libya. Now, the prelude to a NATO invasion of Libya would be to seize the Libyan airspace. And the TV here, the last 24 hours, has mentioned in passing the idea that U.S. aircraft carriers are massing in the central Mediterranean. U.S. aircraft carriers massing in the Gulf of Sidra. I wonder if they've crossed the line of death. You may remember the line of death from 25 years ago, the Top Gun situations where between Misurata and Benghazi, I think it was, Gaddafi drew a line and he said, you better not come in here because these are our territorial waters, and some Libyan MiGs and Sukhois were shot down, and there was some fighting back there a quarter century ago. But now it looks like the idea is a no-fly zone. Now, you remember the no-fly zone. The no-fly zone takes us back to what happened in Iraq at the end of the first Gulf War. And then, of course, it was extended permanently after that. But it started when the U.S. had incited the Shiites of the lower Euphrates to rebel against Saddam Hussein back in 1991, which they did, and then the U.S. promptly, of course, left them in the lurch, but did prevent the fixed-wing and, I think, helicopter forces of the Iraqi Air Force from operating against them. So the idea is now Gaddafi is widely accused of using his Air Force to bomb, strafe, and attack demonstrations, as well as now troop units that have either rebelled or have been reconstituted with the support of his enemies. So the idea is the U.S. would use these aircraft carriers, and you know, you can use even air bases there. Sigonella, Sicily, for example. Sigonella, Sicily is a NATO air base. A lot of stuff has happened there over the years. That would be within range of at least quite a lot of northern Libya, depending on how the planes were flown. So between the aircraft carriers and the Sigonella, we could have a U.S.-imposed no-fly zone, seizing the Libyan airspace, getting control of that, and then that would set the stage for landings, for an invasion, for the seizing of the oil field. Surprise, surprise. So this, I think, has to be followed very carefully. And, of course, our response to this is no new war. This would be Obama's invasion. Now, needless to say, there are people in Libya, be they the Gaddafi forces or the anti-Gaddafi forces, they have real guns with real bullets. They have a real air force. They have some stuff. You don't want to find out what's waiting for you in Libya, because this is a whole different proposition from these other countries, right? This is the Sahara Desert. And if you look at the ethnic map of Libya, interestingly published in Die Welt of today, the whole north area of this are the Arabian Berber tribes, the whole northern belt, several hundred miles below the Mediterranean. For all that distance, you've got the various Arabian Berbers. Now, to the other side, when you get towards Algeria, in the west, you have here the Tuaregs. These are other nomadic tribes of the North African desert. So the idea then is possible NATO invasion, seizing oil fields, interfering, and or, well, preceded by this no-fly zone, preceded by seizing the airspace. Now, let's just look at the ethnic breakdown. We're told that Gaddafi's strongest base is a tribal construction in the, I guess it's in the northwest. It's the area of Tripoli and Misurata. And, of course, we have to remember, as soon as we say Misurata, we think of our old enemy, Volpi di Misurata, Count Volpi of Misurata, the Italian fascist who was one of Mussolini's ministers, finance minister at various times, who was given the title of Count Volpi of Misurata because he was part of imposing Italian colonial rule on Libya, because that's who the colonial power was. This is the old Italian colonial empire. So Gaddafi has his ideological base to some extent, but mainly he's got this tribal base. But the idea now is that all of the tribes in the area called Cyrenaica, that is to say, over in the east, on the right side of the map, by the Egyptian border, we have approximately 22 tribes of the northeastern region, Cyrenaica, who have rebelled against Gaddafi. Now, these are the cities of Benghazi, Derna, Tobruk. But the area around Tripoli, the old Italian Tripolitania, the Tripolitania area, and this is the shores of Tripoli. These were the people that Stephen Decatur and the Barbary pirates. That's the Barbary coast, Tripolitania. So Tripoli, that area seems to be more loyal to Gaddafi. In this northeastern area, we already have the emergence of the first warlord. This guy's name is, he's the former interior minister of the central government. His name is Abdul Fattah Yunus al-Obaidi. Al-Obaidi, and this is the al-Obaidi clan. He's the leader of a clan, not quite a tribe, right? Somewhat less than a tribe, but a clan, part of a tribe. Al-Obaidi seems now to be emerging as the warlord of the northeast region. He's operating out of Benghazi. Then we have another clan. We've got the Al-Wafala, approximately 1 million people. Now, this is in the southwest of Libya. They seem to be in rebellion. And then we've got this other area in the southeast. This ethnic group is generally known as the Tebu, and here we have the Al-Zintan clan in the extreme lower right-hand corner of Libya. We have the Al-Zintan clan. They have also rebelled. So essentially what you've got is, it looks like the northwest is for Gaddafi, the southwest is rebelling, the northeast is the center of the rebellion, and the southeast is also rebelling. So it looks like this could split into at least 2 parts, maybe 4 parts. Back in a minute.